Well, hello, hello. I'm Dr. Carol Erb, and I'm getting ready to start our workshop. And I'm really looking forward to being with everyone today. Uh, we'll get started. I just want to introduce myself in that I am a board certified Christian counselor, marriage coach, and I am your host today for our webinar, our secret workshop entitled From Betrayal to Healing. So as people get on, I just wanted to let you know that you will see a chat feature in the actual webinar. It should be on your right side of your screen, and so you can ask questions and make posts, and hopefully that will go smoothly for everyone. So I am looking forward to getting started. So I'm going to shift now, and I'm going to share my screen, and we will begin our secret workshop. So here we are, and we'll get started. So I hope everybody can see everything fine. This is the beginning of From Betrayal to Healing. Begin healing from your husband's affair. So I want you to stay with me to the end, because I do have some free gifts for you. So do make sure that you stay to the end. I believe the workshop should be around 45 minutes. Of course, if you are joining me live today, that's great. You'll see that you'll have a special bonus for you. And if you're coming on as a replay, you will also find that you'll be able to work through the workshop just as well. So let's begin with divorce statistics. 50% of marriages today end in divorce. 67% of second marriages end in divorce, and 73% of third marriages end in divorce. Now, affair statistics. 82% of unfaithful husbands started out as a social acquaintance or a neighbor or a workplace colleague. 27% of affairs can bloom in any home that has an electronic device. And as you ladies know, we've talked about this with being on social media, Facebook, the different various apps for dating sites, etc. 27% of affairs can begin, and you're not even aware that there's even a woman around. Pornography statistics. 64%, or 2/3 of men, admit to viewing pornography monthly. 55% of married men admit to viewing porn, and pornography increases marital infidelity by 300%. Just recently, I spoke with a pastor, and he told me he believed the statistics for viewing porn was more like 80% of men viewing monthly. This is staggering. We have a problem. Now, with all that study that I just gave you, here is something incredibly interesting to me. That same study with all those statistics indicate that there's zero data for there being any kind of support in churches for women who've been betrayed by a husband's pornography or infidelity. Betrayal trauma is damaging. It is devastating for a woman. And if you're able to get into the chat feature, please comment in the box. As you can tell, there have been many women in our group, and you all have been so supportive, not only of the particular trainings that you've been taking a part in, but also for one another. You've been able to connect and understand one another. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what a healthy brain looks like. Now, remember me telling you, and I guess it was primarily day one of training, how You know, we can have all sorts of physical problems as a result of betrayal trauma. Not only do you feel it, say, like in your stomach or your neck and shoulders, you know, people can get colitis, diarrhea problems, high blood pressure. The brain is also affected. Now, just pay attention to this healthy brain. This is a photo by Dr. Daniel Amen. Dr. Daniel Amen is a board-certified psychiatrist and a pioneer in brain SPECT scans using 3D nuclear imaging. He has clinics all over the U.S., and actually many counselors and therapists will refer their clients when they suspect betrayal trauma. Now, as you can see, there's a diamond pattern in this brain, and it's much more lit up than the previous slide. I'll just see if I can go back to that. See this slide, the healthy brain scan? Now look at this diamond pattern and the red areas. This brain exhibits emotional trauma, which of course relates to betrayal. Now, on the left side of the screen, you can see a healthy brain. On the right side, look at this brain. It indicates failed marital therapy. And what I'm saying here is, oftentimes, many women will go to a counselor, just someone who is a generalist, and they don't know how to work with betrayal trauma. And as a result, you can end up having more trauma with someone who's trying to fix the marriage than actually working with you and helping you through your healing journey and having another therapist work with your husband. So I want you to see the indicators here of what happens when you don't get someone who specializes in this area. Now, okay, moving on along. Excuse me just a second. Trying to get my cursor in the right spot. Okay, here we go. Now, infidelity is the second most difficult relationship problem to work with, surpassed by domestic violence. So again, as I said, you really need to know a good specialist in this area. The problem is women are starving for solutions to these unaddressed problems of pornography and infidelity in their marriages. They just don't know where to go. And many, we talked about earlier, are suffering from isolation. So you've discovered your husband's having an affair or suspects an affair. Where do you start? Let me tell you a little bit about Catherine. Catherine could not sleep one night. There was just something, intuition, that was just really pressing on her. She quietly slid out of their bed and went downstairs and just was compelled to look at her husband's phone. And much to her shock and dismay, she found a thread of illicit photographs as well as conversations that her husband was having with another woman. Ladies, women everywhere are dealing with betrayal trauma. You are not alone. And here's the thing, you may not even know that that's what's going on within you. You're crushed. You're experiencing gut-wrenching pain. There's feelings of inadequacy that take over. There are many women that are looking for someone who understands the seriousness of their situation and can show them God's heart on infidelity. It is so important, ladies, that you have a step-by-step plan that works. After going through my own recovery, I have since helped many women, hundreds, even thousands with my YouTube channel, navigate through the pain of betrayal to a place of healing again. I've created From Betrayal to Healing, a trademarked, trustworthy program that is online for women, and it's proven to help solve this problem of betrayal. It incorporates both a workbook and an online program. Again, as you well know, I'm Dr. Carol Erb, and I'm going to show you where to begin on your healing journey. But before I do that, let me talk to you a little bit about my story. I was happily married as a stay-at-home mom and enjoy being a wife to my husband. In fact, I was a teaching leader at a large mega church teaching women's Bible studies. One day, my middle son was detailing his dad's car, and he ran into the house with this look of just very dismayed, and he had this matchbook in his hand. He said, "Mom, what is this?" Well, that matchbook was a picture of nude women on the front, and in my gut, I knew what was happening. And that matchbook cover named a topless bar. Now, that afternoon, about 5 o'clock, I was compelled to go to that topless bar. I truly believe it was the Holy Spirit leading me to go. And as I got there and arrived, there I saw my car in the parking lot. I walked into that bar, and one of the bouncers kind of grabbed me and said, "Ma'am, this is for members only." And I thought, members only. My husband is a member of this topless bar. And I looked around and I found him up at the bar with a woman massaging his shoulders. And I asked, "Get that man and bring him to me." I never identified him as my husband. Well, there's a much longer story in my book that I've written about this, but my husband came to me and he said, "I think we need to talk." And so we went to his office. He disclosed to me that he made no mention of an affair at the moment because they never tell you the details at first. So I called my 2 weeks of torment that I went through, and finally I gathered my detective side of me and discovered that he was in a full-blown affair. I asked him if he would meet with our pastor, and he said he would. We sat down with the pastor. As I said earlier, I was a teaching leader for Bible studies for women, and my husband actually was building and ground, so he had all the keys to the church. And my pastor looked at him and said, "How much pain do you want? A little bit now or a whole lot later?" My husband looked at him. He grabbed the keys out of the pocket of the church. He said, "I guess you'll be needing this." My pastor was not a counseling pastor, but by others we were referred to a Christian counselor. We made an appointment. He saw her individually. I saw her individually as well. I walked out, and ladies, she had no plan to help me with my betrayal trauma, much less any plan for us to begin to restore our marriage after we went through our healing of our betrayal and his infidelity. I was all alone. It took some time to work through this gut-wrenching pain. I had no one to go through this with me. However, God had a plan, and he had a path for me, and he had a provision for me. And little did I know, he was going to take me into a master's program in Christian counseling. I was a single mom for 8 years. After I finished my degree in Christian counseling, I met my husband, who is now, we've been married for 16 years in this October. We actually met through eHarmony, and he has come alongside me and has helped me with counseling with the men. And we have really been quite blessed with our story. In fact, it was even aired on television. And I have mentioned this in one of my books I've written. Today, I pursued and went forward and got my Ph.D. in clinical Christian counseling. As I have mentioned several times during our training, I'm an author, speaker, and marriage expert. You can find my story and more about me at my website, drcarolherb.com. So who do I help? I provide women just like you with the tools, resources, and support that they need so they can begin their healing journey from their husband's affair, whether you've just discovered it or if it happened years ago. I've been featured on both TV and magazines and within articles, the various through Christian television, Christian radio, and also various magazine articles. I have created resources I wish I had. I created a workbook from betrayal to healing, and I'll talk about that more a little bit later. When you begin your healing journey, especially through this workbook, the very first thing I do is I have you write your betrayal story. I've realized that many women have never really been able to share their story with anyone. And I cannot tell you how healing it is to begin putting on paper your story. In fact, there is psychological evidence that once you write your story down and then have someone who understands what you're going through hear it as you read it out loud, there is a psychological release and healing begins. Now, I want to take you through each phase, the 12 steps of the healing journey that I take women on. And the first lesson is on dealing with emotions. You're going to learn the 4 stages of healing and how to identify your emotions. You'll learn to differentiate between supportive people, unsupportive people, who is safe and who is unsafe. And let me tell you, this is so critical on your healing journey. And at this point, you are going to start to open up to receive God's love despite your pain. Then in lesson 2, you're going to identify all your losses. You'll understand the 5 stages of grief. You'll realize the things that have been lost. You'll also determine if you're trying to fix your husband. Fixing husbands is when you give them books to read or give them names of counselors to see. We've talked a little bit about that. And then finally, your result from this lesson is you're going to begin to trust God's plan for a more positive future. Lesson 3, facing anger. You're going to learn the 12 ways that people express their anger. And also, you'll learn how to identify your anger patterns and what triggers you. You'll recognize the difference between healthy and unhealthy anger. And finally, the result will be you'll learn how to express your anger in a powerful yet godly way. Lesson 4, you'll learn to recognize the signs of depression. You'll also learn how to pull yourself out of depression and understand that your mind is the battlefield. We talked about this in our training, how the mind just can keep us stuck in this unless you learn how to shift your thinking. And the result is you'll begin to find strength and comfort in God's word. Lesson 5, you'll learn the difference between discovery and disclosure. This is the most critical lesson of them all. And once you get to lesson 5, you're going to find that there's going to be a major shift. You're going to understand the difference between helpful questions to ask your husband and unhelpful questions. You'll learn practical strategies for comforting yourself after a disclosure. And then you'll lean on God in the painful moments. Disclosure occurs, what that means is there is a specific session for you where you will have your husband write down from the start of the affair to the very end. So many women stay stuck because they don't know the truth, or there's the continual lying. Disclosure will end that, and you'll know the truth. Lesson 6 is understanding boundaries, the need for healthy boundaries. You'll learn more about temperament and how to understand yourself better, and you'll be able to face your struggles with clearly defined boundaries. Lesson 7 is all about confronting fears. You'll recognize how fear is impacting not only your marital relationship, but your relation with your children, if you have them, friends, family, and others. You'll learn how to uncover the fears in your heart that are hidden and how to recognize if you're experiencing unhealthy fear. Finally, you can trust God to deliver you from your fear of the unknown. And so many women have that fear. Lesson 8, as you start to turn the corner towards the end of the healing journey, you will learn the why of his affair. You'll learn all about sexual addiction and infidelity behaviors. You'll be able to free yourself from feeling responsible for your husband's behavior and learn to let go of any false guilt that you've been holding on to. Finally, you'll discover how to prepare yourself either to rebuild your marriage or move on with hope for the future. You'll, in lesson 9, releasing resentment. This is so key. You'll be taught how to let go of resentment. You'll discover how to free yourself from any need that you're holding on for justice, and I'll teach how to release your resentment to God. Next is forgiving him. Ooh, ladies, this is the key. You'll learn the difference between forgiveness and reconciliation. They are not the same. One can take place by yourself, the other requires both of you. You'll discover how to free yourself from dwelling on your husband's actions. The results will be you will be equipped to begin the process of forgiveness, which leads to your healing. Lesson 11, rebuilding trust. You're going to be equipped with the actions you need for your husband to take to rebuild your trust. You are worthy of his trust. You're going to learn how to create safe boundaries before problems arise. Before the infidelity or pornography was discovered, you didn't have the ability to set boundaries. Here, you'll be taught how. And finally, the results will be you'll begin to rebuild trust in yourself and in God. Lesson 12, believing God. You'll learn how to deepen your trust in God and how to recognize and really feel in your heart how beloved you are to God and how to embrace who you are in Christ. The results will be you'll be able to make godly decisions for your future. I want you to meet Whitney. She was one of my clients and she went through the program with me. Whitney said, knowing my husband had been lying to me made me feel so deceived. I felt like I didn't even know the man I married. I had to allow God in on my journey. And when I did, I gained all the tools I needed to better understand myself, my husband, and God. Imagine reigniting your faith like that. Now there's Ellen. Ellen found me one evening when she was on the internet. She said she'd been searching and searching, and finally my website popped up. She said she was in such a state of chaos, pain, and confusion, she never thought she would get out of her pain. I know many of you have made comments like that in our group. However, today, Ellen's whole outlook has changed. In fact, she has gone to write a book about her story, and she says she now has confidence and peace in her life again. She said she was just truly so sold on this program. Imagine rebuilding your confidence like Ellen did. And imagine removing your fear of the future. That is so important. This, ladies, is how you begin healing from your husband's affair. You'll be equipped for the support you're looking for. So you may be asking, Carol, how can I receive your tools, your resources, and support? I know many of you have said you've been going through this all on your own. I would like to give you the opportunity, as I said when you first joined the support group in the Facebook, that I was going to give total transparency, offering you an opportunity to work with me. And when you do, you are going to feel confident with the resources you'll receive to help truly heal yourself in all the ways you need. And you will begin to see a transformation happen right before your eyes, knowing you're getting the results you've been looking for. A few more things that others have said. These are colleagues in the Christian community. Dr. Phyllis Arno says that my workbook has given hope for women who've been wounded by their husbands. Who better to ask for help than someone who's walked in their shoes? Also, understanding that other women have been wounded by their husbands will give them the courage to face this betrayal, learn to trust God, and move forward with their lives. Dr. Phyllis Arno, co-founder of the National Christian Counselors Association. Dr. David Clark, Christian psychologist, says Dr. Carol Erb knows betrayal, Dr. Carol Erb knows the Bible, and Dr. Carol Erb knows how to help a woman get through the pain and confusion of betrayal to full healing and recovery. If your husband has had an affair, get this workbook. Dr. Clark is a colleague of mine and endorses all my work. He's an author of over 12 books, including I Don't Want a Divorce. And finally, Ruth Graham, daughter of the late Dr. Billy Graham and author of Every Pew Sits a Broken Heart, writes, Dr. Carol Erb has given us a very helpful workbook and program for those who've been deeply betrayed by a spouse. I wish I'd had it years ago when I discovered my husband's infidelity. Finally, Stephanie Baker, co-author and executive director of Abundant Life and Abundance Counseling Ministry. Carol Erb masterfully weaves together important spiritual truths with practical steps in guiding the reader from the moment of impact to a place of hope. The exercises and introspective questions in each chapter allow the reader critical insight into personal progress along the way. From betrayal to healing is a must-have resource for women. So as you can see, I have those that have supported the work that I do, and I just want you to know that you're in good hands. So let's talk about what you'll receive with my program. First, you will have lifetime access to the mentorship site. You will have it 24/7. You'll be able to go into it and see all the recorded videos that I have for you for each lesson, as well as you will receive 8 weeks of 60 minutes of coaching calls with me online. These calls will be video recorded if you can't meet for that certain time. You'll also have the opportunity to join a private VIP Facebook group for support. These women are so phenomenal in this group. They are going through this program or have already gone through it. They know all the hurdles you're going to be going through. You'll get a complete support coaching package from me plus bonuses. When you join, you're going to receive an easy to follow, biblically based plan that works. You can have the confidence and reassurance to know that you will know your next step for your marriage as well as your future. You'll receive ongoing support from me, encouragement and advice. And finally, you will be able to realize by the time we work through that joy and peace can be part of your life again. You will gain access to the program on all devices, your laptop, your desktop, your iPad or phone, so you can get in it at any time, as I said, 24/7. And the value of the program is $1,997. And let me tell you a little bit about some of the bonuses that you're going to receive. Now, if any of you listened to one of the prayer care audios, it was your homework actually from day 2 training, you are going to get an entire library of prayer care audios that you can listen to at your disposal. You can listen to them in your car. You can listen to them, maybe during taking a hot bath or trying to get to sleep. And there is a prayer care audio that goes with each lesson. So that is one of the bonuses for being a part of our workshop. The value is $97. Also, as part of being a part of our workshop, I am gifting you with my story, my book Enveloped. It has a 5-star review on Amazon, and that will be included as a digital copy for you within your membership site. Additionally, so many of you have said, I don't know how I can trust my husband. Because you are in this workshop and are watching it, you will be gifted with a MP3 entitled, How Can I Trust My Husband? 16 Ways to Tell. This is valued at $47. And in this MP3, you are going to receive at least 16 non-negotiable ways that your husband can rebuild trust. Oftentimes, husbands don't even know how to. They think just because they're being kind to you, they're showing trust. I'm telling you, ladies, this is a treasure to have on hand. Now, as I said, the full value of everything included in this program when you join today is well over $1,997. However, today I'm offering scholarship spots with $1,500 off. Today only, your program, if you pay up front, is $497 or $197 today, with only 2 more payments of $197. You will get access to me and the entire program plus all the bonuses. Wouldn't you love to begin healing from your husband's betrayal the easy way rather than trying to figure this out all by yourself? Now, I am going to add a fast action bonus for all of those who join within the next time frame as you watch this. I'm going to throw in the disclosure roadmap, a guide for navigating the disclosure conversation with success. I've had women say this particular bonus is worth the entire program themselves because you don't know how to get the full truth. I have written an entire plan for this. It's many pages. It's instructions on how your husband is to write a disclosure letter for you and what it involves. And I will even give an opportunity to work with you and your husband in a disclosure session privately. This bonus is if you take fast action. So now that is well over 50% off plus all the special bonuses just by being part of this workshop. Wouldn't you love this $1,500 scholarship? I am very pleased to offer this to you. I know that times are difficult now, and I want you to have an opportunity to work with me and let's get on your healing journey. Now, all you have to do is fill in the details of the group program. There'll be 2 order forms that should be showing for you. We'll also send it through email. The order total, if you want to buy, excuse me, let me get a sip of water real quick. You'll receive lifetime access to the From Betrayal to Healing trademark program, 12 actionable videos that go with each lesson with the tools and resources. I didn't even name all the tools and resources you're going to get within the program. Weekly group Q&A calls, exclusive Facebook accountability group, plus a coaching support package, as well as the prayer care audios. Or you can opt for the group payment plan, which is $197 today with 2 more monthly payments. You get the same thing that I mentioned before. Excuse me. You can be rest assured that the checkout page is 100% secured. We take Visa, MasterCard, Discovery, or Express, American Express. Sorry. You can check your email once you make your purchase. And there in your email, you will get your login details to get into the program immediately. You'll also have an opportunity to reset your password if you wish. Oops. Then, of course, you'll see a link to join the Facebook support community. Please make sure you do that, because you're going to get a treasure trove of support from other women. Again, the group program, just to recap: lifetime access to Betrayal to Healing program from women, 12 video lessons, the Facebook group, the recorded video calls, the support coaching package, which includes access to get the Betrayal to Healing workbook, the envelope book, My Story, 13 prayer care audios, and the bonus 16 ways to know if your husband is trustworthy. Gosh, I'm sorry. I'm getting a little ramped up with this cough. So 1 payment today of $497 or 3 payments of $197. All the bonuses are valued at $550. They're yours free today, including the disclosure roadmap. $497 up front or $197, and then moving forward with your 2 more payments. If you have any questions, ladies, with ordering, please contact me at hello@drcarolherb.com. I'll be glad to talk to you about any details you may need. Hopefully you got all that, the questions answered. And then finally, I just want to kind of wrap up our time together. Rhonda said, "My husband took our marriage and nearly destroyed it due to his sexual infidelity. I cried so many tears. Then I began working with Carol. She is someone safe to walk you through your healing journey. She gives you a listening ear and feedback from another Christian woman, which reassured me I was not alone." Luann wrote, "My world was crumbling down on top of me. I was crushed, broken, and had feelings of inadequacy that took over every part of me. I had been trying to heal on my own, and it wasn't working. Finding Carol was an answer to prayer. During each session, I felt loved, supported, inspired. I know my marriage will make it now." So this wraps up the very end of our time together. I just want you to know it has been my honor to spend these last 3 days with you ladies. I'm going to keep the Facebook group open and up until Sunday at midnight. If you all have any questions, let me just stop our screen share so I can get back to you. If you all have any questions, please let me know, and I'll be happy to give you whatever you need answer-wise. So thank you again. I look forward to speaking with you, and we will talk soon. Take good care then. Bye-bye.